Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for waiting and a very warm welcome to all of you joining us today for this webinar featuring the unveiling of our latest study on corporate gifting, followed by a power-packed panel discussion. At Pluxee, we are committed to helping people enjoy more of what matters to them. As a global leader in employee benefits and engagement, we don't just enable solutions, we shape conversations. Over the years, we have been frequently publishing insightful studies in the area of employee benefits, engagement, and motivation. Just few months back, we released the Future of Workplace study, which discussed workplace trends, including benefits and the evolution of employee expectations. Today, we are proud to unveil another critical milestone in our journey to empower you with the latest insights, the Landscape of Corporate Gifting in India 2025 study, which is designed to decode current gifting practices while unraveling how gifting is transforming into a strategic lever for engagement and loyalty. Let's begin this exciting hour of insights and perspectives. To kick things off, I'd like to invite Sebastian Godet, Chief Revenue Growth Officer, EMEA and Continental Europe, to share his opening remarks and set the stage for today's conversations. Sebastian, over to you.
Thank you, Nupur. Thank you very much, and good day to everybody. Thank you for joining us today for this special webinar where we are proud to launch the Pluxee India pioneering study on the corporate gifting landscape. You know, our global journey started in 1976 when Sodexo, at this time, Sodexo Benefits and Reward, was founded in France by Mr. Pierre Bellon. In 1997, we began our operation in India, and 20 years after, in 2017, we launched our first multi-benefit platform. In 2023, as you know, we rebranded our company to Pluxee, a name that reflects our commitment to positivity and to employee engagement. With over 49 years of experience, we operate across 29 countries and reaching the leads of more than 37 million consumers every day, helping them feel valued, connected, and cared for at work and beyond. India holds a special place in Pluxee's heart and in mind because it's probably the country where I visited most. This is a strategic market for us, and we have been committed to helping companies here to improve their employee engagement. We serve in India over 11,000 clients and more than 3.5 million consumers. Our deep understanding of the local market and our ability to tailor solutions to meet the unique needs of the Indian employees have made us a significant player and a significant leader in this dynamic landscape. As a global partner, Pluxee is dedicated to co-creating the future of gifting, and here in India, one that balances empathy with efficiency. Our Pluxee solutions are designed to offer the flexibility that today's businesses need while staying rooted in personalization and impact. We are excited to co-create this future of gifting with you. Let's dive into the data, into the insight, and the real-world use cases that can inspire tangible impact. For that, this is my pleasure to introduce Victoria Otero Del Val, our Group Chief Strategy, Marketing and Sales Officer, as well as our Chief Revenue Growth Officer for US and UK markets. Victoria has a deep expertise in the gifting and reward and recognition areas, and she's part of Pluxee's global leadership team along with me. Over to you, Victoria, to help us unveiling this study on corporate gifting practices in India.
Thanks a lot, Sebastian, and thanks a lot to all of you for your presence. I am really privileged to be here to shape the conversation with you, as Nupur introduced it in beginning this call. So we will delve into the evolution of corporate gifting in India. Sebastian said, I am passionate about gifting. And I am thrilled to see that corporate gifting is transforming into something that is of a strategic engagement tool. So it's not just about a token gesture. It's not just about a one-off, seasonal gifting. It really is about connecting with employees and creating human-centric experiences. We insist a lot at Pluxee on how to mix fully digital yet human-centric, and gifting is a great offer for that. So we really seek to see how with gifting we can enhance loyalty, recognition, and create emotional connections. What I also observe in my US and UK context is the notion of continuous recognition, is to recognize employees for contributing to corporate goals. So we see in all global markets that personalization, sustainability, and digital convenience are total baseline expectations. What now recipients want is something that reflects their values and that's tailored to their preferences. And we all have in our different contexts very diverse, heterogeneous employee bases. So of course, their preferences are specific, and we live in a world where personalization is possible due to data. So this is the journey we would like to explore with you, is how we can embrace hybrid gifting, eco-conscious choices, and digital-first formats, and create the connections with our employees. So we view gifting and rewarding as moments that blend empathy and impact with a very strong digital tech touch. Our solutions are designed to deliver ease and meaning. We achieve this through customizable rewards, digital gift cards, or sustainable alternatives. Like I said, gifting should be personal, it can be personal, and it should serve the corporate goals to create engagement and connection. So the study that we are launching today is shaped by feedback from over 430 corporates across various industries in India. And a huge thank, maybe some of you contributed to it. This really is a tremendous wealth of information that we are super happy to play back to you and share the findings. Now, what the Pluxee India team was trying to do is just go really beyond just the data and get to insights and get to the question on how we can strategically use gifting for engagement. So the team has found extremely encouraging and insightful what came out of this study, as they do know that they have the data that supports our theory. It's not just theory, it's data that supports our theory that companies are quickly adapting their gifting strategies to new realities. So we really hope that the study provides you with actionable insights, benchmarks. It's super interesting always to see how the others are doing in your industry or outside of your industry, and the source of inspiration. The source of inspiration to build more human connections within your own business context. Now, this is the point that's very important. It is my pleasure to unveil the Pluxee gift study. And in the next few minutes, you will receive an email with the study attached. So please access, look at it, and again, share your findings with your colleagues, with your organization, across the organization, and of course, with us. So I really hope everyone benefits from this study and you find the findings relevant and you can contextualize them for your environment. And I really would like to thank you for joining us today. So we look forward to your active participation and of course an insightful discussion with all the participants online. So I am now turning it back to Harish.
Thank you, Victoria. That was very, very insightful, and thanks for setting up a global context and providing the local shift angle to it as well. As Victoria has mentioned, the complete study has been shared exclusively with all our attendees on the email address that was used during the registration process. So you have the access to the study firsthand, all the attendees. Now it's my pleasure to invite Mr. Harish Sarma, Marketing and Product Director at Pluxee India, to walk us through the key insights and what they mean to the organizations today. Harish, over to you.
Thank you, Nupur. Thanks a lot. So again, welcome everyone. Thank you. It's a great pleasure to share with you, what is the result of weeks of work that we've put in to bring you this study. So it's a research where, as Victoria said, many of you helped us gain these insights, and we hope as you receive it and as you go through it over the next few days, you will find insights that are handy. So just jumping right in. So what is it that we've tried to do? What is the intent of the study? So we try to bring, as Victoria said, all of us, I think, as practitioners in this industry, or as managing large organizations, or small organizations of all size. The idea is we do believe we have an understanding of what goes into good rewards, good gifting practices, etc. But the idea was to back that with data to really see what's happening out there, to see how the spread is in that sense. And what we try to put together is a practitioner's guide, typically. So it can be someone who's very experienced in this, or someone who's just setting up, just to bring in some insights and some points that we've tried to cover through the study is to understand the decision-making process across organizations. What are the roles and functions which drive gifting decisions, be it to employees, be it to partners, be it to consumers, who's actually helping with the decision-making process, who's driving that process, uncovering preferences. How is it that preferences are moving in the industry today across locations, across the choice of gifts that you choose for your recipients, or what are the factors influencing decision making? Another area that we've looked at through the study is to identify common challenges, to look at industry pain points in the gifting process, and this is a conversation starter in a lot of ways. Hopefully, eventually, between and conversing, and we can also help you there as player in the space. The idea is to lead to optimized solutions once we've identified these challenges. An area that we looked at again is, as Victoria again pointed out, benchmarking data. So one of the areas we looked at is to help you benchmark budget allocation and gifting frequencies across organizations to identify hopefully some white spaces or some opportunities that you would like to implement, in your company, or which you're doing, but you would like to double down on. Measurement, really important area. While the difference between having measurement and not having it is looking at gifting as a cost item versus looking at it as an ROI driver. So what we've tried to do is to see where we are on that scale as an industry, how many of us are measuring it, what are the typical tools we are using to measuring it today, and how we can unravel the future. And of course, any study like this is incomplete till we look at future trends. So we try to gauge outlook, identify what are the trends and strategies that will shape the future of corporate gifting, rewards, recognition, and this entire space. While you can go through the study, I'd like to share a few quick insights with you. So looking at the participants, as you heard before during this webinar, we've covered 430 organizations from whom we've gained these insights. There are conversations which are backing this, and we were lucky enough to have experts from 5 companies, from 5 senior leaders who also looked at the study and shared their gifting practices to make sense of also the data and to add some contextual information to what we saw through the study. In terms of functions, as we said again, it's gifting recognition. This is a space which is very rich, very diverse, and as many of us can see, and hopefully the study will also help you unravel, is that we can see that we try to get feedback from across functions to understand their perspectives. So from human resources to finance, marketing, admin, procurement, sales, how is it that they are using gifting today? And when it comes to industry, also we have a decent spread to really represent the data and bring more diverse perspectives into it. So just sharing some quick findings from the study. So we try to look at, internal gifting versus external gifting, and we've had some heads here. How is the spread? So again, not at least for our study, what we saw is internal gifting programs still dominate. However, we see a lot of external gifting programs coming in, and this is an area that's growing through our study, is what we realized. So this is an area that's probably an opportunity for a lot of companies to look at. In terms of frequency, in the Indian context, a lot of this is still annual. So annual is prevalent across internal and external. But we're seeing that in the external gifting use case, at least special occasions or event-based gifting is coming in, which is, the portent to some things that I'll speak to you on the next slide. In terms of occasions, when we looked at external gifting, we tried to understand, okay, what are the occasions that's done? So, of course, festival gifting remains a big area or a big time when gifting happens. But we're also seeing things like business milestone gifting or launching of new products or services, these being also as times or events which trigger gifting across the industry, the need, and of course, the fulfillment aspect of it. Finally, in terms of preferences, where are we? What do we prefer as Indian industry participants? So physical gifting is still there. It's not surprisingly around 60%. It's also, a little bit cultural. But what we're seeing is, gift cards, digital gifting, brand vouchers, these are catching up. The gap is actually narrowed down pretty significantly. What you will see is also a mix. So it's not that, companies are choosing, and this is a point I'll touch upon also in my next slide. It's not that, companies are choosing physical gifts for all their needs. It's also very contextual. So for one of their needs, they might choose physical gifts, while for another one, they might go to gift cards. So it's an interesting mix that people are very thoughtfully putting together. And interestingly, 15% of our respondents notified us that, they also started doing experiential gifting. So this is an area we believe with employees, Gen Z employees entering more and more, the demand is going to grow. And with the demand, also decision makers will have to fulfill that need through varied gifts. So insights, right? Coming to insights, this is a little bit of a few data points that we presented, but again, from insights, one of our key insights is, as we've been believing or been speaking on, gifting is moving from, recognition based or just as gifting as an exercise to becoming a business enablement tool more and more. And we saw this across our internal and external gifting use cases. So in internal gifting, of course, on-roll employees, the biggest cohort are beneficiaries of gifting, followed by off-roll employees and sales force. A lot of annual gifting is annual gifting, so around 34%, but milestone-based gifting is growing. It's around 20%, which is not an insignificant number. These are typically used as levers to drive loyalty across employees. So this is an area of growth that we found. In terms of decision making, human resources as a practice are the ones who are doing most of the decision making. Not surprising when it comes to employees or internal gifting, but we also saw participation. A lot of our respondents also indicating that other cohorts, including senior management, finance, sales, and procurement, also playing a role in this. So, in just some very quick insights. Moving to external gifting, we see a rise. So it's 53% if we put it in terms of numbers of partner and consumer gifting. It's being used purely as a loyalty and engagement tool. So there's an area here to look at if you are not already doing. Business milestone gifting is also growing to a big chunk, as we saw in a few slides. So this is 24%. So if you put both of these together, we are talking about around 77-78% of our gifting going towards what can be seen as business outcomes. And here we see the decision making more be driven by leadership, the senior leadership across organizations, and the next cohorts that are coming in are typically sales, marketing, and product who are involved in choosing what external gifting to be giving as an organization. The next insight that we saw is we are moving from planned and long cycles to using digital as a lever to shorten this or really, make this cycle more and more concise. So as we've seen that we still see a lot of decision making is last minute or ad hoc. So if you put these two together, around 67% organizations indicated that they have some gifting occasion in the year which can be categorized as last minute or ad hoc. Annual planning still plays a role. So there are 30% who said that there is an annual exercise, but we still see a lot of last minute or ad hoc gifting happening. And this is a need typically that can be catered to only if you are looking at some sort of digital gifting means, because if you're trying to do more physical gifting, the procurement cycle, planning cycle is typically happens to be longer. Hybrid and physical gifting as a preference has grown. So we saw 50% of respondents saying that they prefer some sort of hybrid or physical gifting. Probably a trend that has been hastened through the pandemic, but a trend surely, because now we are 2-3 years beyond that trend that we feel is here to stay. And gift cards, as we saw on the previous slide, are closing in. The gap between physical gifts and gift cards is now only around 20%, so becoming a very well accepted means of gifting. Moving to my final insight that I'd like to share with you is that gifting is moving from being seen as cost-centered, and it's a shift that's happening to focusing more on ROI and experiences. So still cost effectiveness remains the highest driver in terms of decision making. We saw 65% of our respondents saying that when they choose gifting, cost effectiveness is one of the areas that they look at. In terms of ROI measurement, we saw only around 9% organizations saying that they are able to attribute the ROI of their gifting efforts to business results. But that's probably also a factor of the tools that are available at our disposal today. But with new tools coming in, continuous engagement, this is bound to change very, very quickly. 80% still measure impact using tools like feedback and satisfaction surveys, which can be seen, in a way to be more qualitative than quantitative. But there is a definite need and a direction to move towards measuring ROI. Once that is taken, once you have that into account, there's still the experience factor, which plays a key role. So the other areas which really are driving decision making are brand reputation, ease of use from a procurement or an administration standpoint, ease of distribution and operational management, and finally, of course, what is our favorite topic, as gift practitioners, which is personalization. So these are typically factors which are also playing a role. So that is the ROI measurement aspect to address too. But also, gifting as a practice needs to speak to these other areas that I spoke about. Finally, quick peek into the future. So we saw some trends and we could unravel some needs. So as we saw, curated gifting and personalization, 41% of our respondents are preferring some sort of personalization when it comes to gifting needs. So it's a number which will only grow over a period of time, but it's still a significant number that we have. If we talk about digital and experiential gifting, we saw that 91% of instances today through our respondents are already digital or experiential gifting solutions in some form or the other. And we are seeing, as we said, gifting or rewards moving or positioning themselves as drivers of business outcomes. So 82% of our respondents said that their organizations reward sales teams, consumers, channel partners, business partners, which means it's moving towards using gifting to drive business outcomes. In terms of needs, and we saw a few of these, flexibility remains a big item because 67%, as we saw on the previous slide, are looking to do some sort of gifting which is last minute or ad hoc. So flexibility plays a key role, continues to play a key role. That is the aspect on ROI measurement, as we said, because only around 9%, 10% organizations are today able to measure ROI. So that's an area, that's a need that we need to solve for. And there's this trend where we saw, 34% of our respondents said that they prefer sustainable gifting or eco-conscious gifting over, other forms of gifting. So that brings me, to end on the findings. I hope as you lay a hand on the study, you can go through more. If you would like to discuss this, we are just a call away to come over and explain the study or also jointly have discussions. As you go through the study, we have three hopes. We hope you find some insights that you already know, but it gives you a moment to pause and think about, and also think of how you'd like to solve for some of these challenges or areas that you had. And as I said, we'd be happy to walk this journey with you. The second aspect is we hope if you find some new ideas which enrich your practices or how you'd like to look at gifting as a tool in your organization. And finally, we hope that the study brings to you some benchmarking data. So when you're having conversations or making decisions within your leadership groups, you can bring the right data to support your decisions. So that's a little bit on the study. Back to you.
Thank you, Harish, for that data-rich, sharp overview. And the shift towards personalized, measurable, and hybrid gifting is what that clearly stands out. So thank you for this, the insights that you brought to us today. So we now move on to what promises to be one of the key highlights of the session that we are hosting today, our panel discussion. Moderated by Anish Sarkar, Managing Director for India, Philippines and Indonesia Cluster at Pluxee, we are joined by a stellar panel of leaders across industries. The leaders are Sunil Nayak, Vice President, HR India and South Asia, DHL Global Forwarding, Mr. Vikash Agrawal, Divisional CFO, Berger Paints Limited, and Mr. Sachin Mishra, Cluster Head, Augmentis Healthcare Limited. Over to you, Anish.
Thank you, Nupur. Thanks for that. First of all, it's great to be on this session, and thank you for everybody who has joined. Sebastian, you gave a great introduction, and Victoria, your insights and experience sharing, I think, set the stage for the unveiling of the study, of course. Harish, your trailer hopefully will have everybody who has joined this webinar, and of course, a lot of other people excited enough to read the study fully. But yes, we are into the panel discussion, and I'm really excited to be doing this panel with three folks who, of course, are distinguished corporate executives in their own right, coming from well-known and successful organizations. But what I like is also the fact that all of you will not only be bringing your rich experience to the panel, but you represent different perspectives. We have people from different industries, but also people from different functions. We have someone from finance, we have someone from business commercial, and of course, we have someone from HR. And I think, Harish, you also talked about while HR today seems to dominate the decision-making or, the entire corporate gifting piece, but I think, it's something that's organization-wide. So thank you very much, Vikash, Sunil, and Sachin, for agreeing to join this panel. And I welcome you to this session and this discussion. And maybe without further ado, let me jump in. The title that we've kept for this, as the team mentioned to me, of course, the findings of the study that we did have created a nice segue into the discussion. But what we are really wanting to discuss here is the future of corporate gifting for impact, and really seeing where gifting was maybe a gesture earlier, or maybe something for the moment, or something for an occasion, but how it's increasingly becoming much more strategic. So with that, maybe I come to you, Vikash, first, and to set the context in your organization, or maybe from your perspective. What is the role of gifting? Is it more gesture based? Is it more tradition based? Is it for employee engagement? Is it a key part of your strategy? How would you talk about the role of gifting in your company or from your perspective? Over to you, Vikash.
Thanks, Anish, for asking this question. Just gifting in a company is more of a strategic practice. It goes beyond traditional or a token engagement. It's a carefully thought out approach to strengthen relationship, reinforce brand values, and drive long-term loyalty across stakeholders. Maybe it's the employees, channel partner, or the customers. So at Berger, basically we operate in a relationship-driven industry. So our relationship is more stronger with the dealer and the influencer. So one of the most simple and impactful uses of gifting is our dealer and influencer network. Our channel partners, whether they are paint dealers, distributors, or painting contractors, are the backbone of our business. So basically, festive gifting during Diwali, Holi, or a New Year is just a formality. It's not a formality. It's our way of expressing gratitude for their continued partnership, their trust, and in our brand and the business they generate. Basically, these gifts symbolize respect and the recognition as we reminds our partner that they are not just the sales point for us, they are the extension of the Berger family. Even internally, gifting at Berger plays a significant role. in fostering a positive work culture, be it onboarding kids or the birthday token or the Diwali gifts. Each of these gestures reinforces our belief that employees are at the heart of our success. Even during special moment, we give a certain kind of gift to team, like achieving a landmark, completing a successful project like that. So uh, also we are very thoughtful when gifting comes because gifting reflects our brand identity. So we choose gifts that are very practical and aligned with our value system. Uh, it should not be taken negatively that we do gifts for the generation of the business only. So it reflects our responsible approach towards the business. So basically, to summarize, gifting at Berger is not a transaction; it's an expression of relationship. Whether it's a dealer which we are working for last 15, 20 years, or a painter or an employee who has given their best. We use gifting as a way to we see you, we value you. So to build trust, loyalty, and long-term goodwill, we use this gifting as a strategy.
Thanks, Vikas. Yeah. Yes, thank you, Vikas. And I think I really like the way you put it. It's not a transaction; it's a relationship. And thank you for kicking this off so nicely. Maybe I come to you next, Sunil. By the way, I love the background that you have. It's really brilliant and colorful. So, Sunil, I mean, leading on from what Vikas mentioned, in your experience or at DHL, can you give maybe an example or two of where you have seen gifting create a real solid impact, either with employees or with partners or with customers? Maybe just some experience or moment sharing from you.
So thank you so much, Anish, and pleasure to be a part of this call. When we started off the session today, I heard Sebastian talking about positivity and engagement. And it's so nice to see the impact, not only purely from a client standpoint. Typically, when we talk about gifting, we think about it as something that's focused more on clients or partners, etc. But it's nice to see how there's such an important activity, even from an engagement standpoint, even if it's internal or external. Harish, thank you for taking us through the quick summary. Quite a lot of points that I could sort of resonate with, and I felt connect on. Right? If you look at gifting as such, I think it enhances relationships, right? And it allows us to go ahead and create a connect, whether it is internal or external. I personally feel that if the gift is personalized or made specific, it showcases that you're thoughtful. It showcases that you are taking an interest in either the client, the partner, or the employee. And if we are able to identify something that makes more personalized for them, it sort of brings a smile to their faces. So for us internally, if you see, we have had instances where we have had a lot of personalized gifts that we provide for specific events. Like, for example, we normally have a monthly birthday celebration, and we call all the birthday boys and girls over and have a gathering with the CEO. Now, in an event like this, if you're able to give them a personalized gift, it could be something as simple as a water bottle, which has the person's name and the brand mentioned, but that suddenly brings a smile onto their face, and people are interested in, sort of getting something like this. It allows you to connect and also allows you to go ahead and sort of bring in an association. We've also had instances where we have looked at connecting with our customers or partners. Sometimes we provide a personalized certificate. We've had instances where, how are we able to connect it back to sustainability or a greater purpose? If you've got an interesting customer or an important customer that we have worked with, we actually went ahead and planted trees and gave them a tree certificate. Now, the value is not as much as the recognition or the connect that they saw, and that was something that they truly valued. Same was the case with our partners. Sometimes we have given partners certificate of appreciation or thanks for the partnership and the support that they have provided over the last few years. So whichever way we look at it, I think it's important for us to take a nuanced approach try and understand what are the requirements that we can meet as far as gifting is concerned, and see how we can enhance either a sense of belonging or an ability to go ahead and sort of impact morale or productivity. If I can bring a smile onto somebody's face, if I can get them to be happy to associate with us as a brand, then I think that's great. That's my feel or my take on this.
Thanks, Sunil. Great examples. Thanks for sharing those. Now, maybe I come to you next, Sachin, and on a different aspect of this. Let's come back to the corporate, and I wanted to specifically touch upon decision making around gifting. In your experience or in your organization, how is this done? Is it centralized, decentralized? Is it taken by a few people? Are different departments empowered to have their own sort of budgets and decisions in terms of how they want to go ahead? If you can share some light on this, Sachin.
Yeah, Anish, thanks for asking this question. It's a good question because I am from farm industry where the gifting has been an integral part for our promotions internally as well as externally. So I'm sure all we would be knowing, for years and ages, it has been an integral part for our customers giving gifting. So here we have seen, as somebody talked about the transactional gifting, which we found it's very short-lived. But if you plan the gifting very, very well, it's good. For example, we empower our different teams to choose the gifting as per their promotion, because we spend around 50 to 20% of our budgets only on the gifting, internal as well as externally. We have developed an excellent ROI system. So we become more clearer how much we need to spend and where we need to spend to improve our businesses. But the most important part, once we have decentralized, given the team, empowered the team to choose the gifting on basis of a theme-based gifting, has worked very, very well. And after adopting the digital model, it has become really, really very successful for us. It's pretty fast, immediate recognition, and you can make it very much personalized. So this has opened a lot of opportunities for us. We have been doing this for last almost 2 years, and it has been a great, tremendous success for us in terms of digital gifting. So you save a lot of cost, and it's pretty fast. It brings smile very fast on people's face. So in our company, we have decentralized it, given an opportunity to every team to choose their gifting.
Thanks, Sachin. Yes, thanks for sharing that. Yes, indeed. I mean, digital gifting has transformed the corporate gifting in so many ways. But you touched upon and you mentioned the point of personalization. And maybe I want to just move on back to you, Sunil, if I may, on the topic of personalization, because of course, we know that encompasses a lot of things we do in a company, especially when it comes to people and partners. But in your organization, obviously, you have different cohorts of employees. There are different generations, and we keep talking about generation, Z. By the way, one of the questions I always wonder what the next generation will be called, because we've kind of got a Y2K kind of problem, but that's a different thing. You have, of course, a lot of channel partners. You have, frontline people because of the nature of your business. How do you adapt your gifting strategy to address this kind of a workforce and make it relevant to all the different cohorts? Sunil.
Yeah, thanks, Anish. Maybe I can pick up two possible cohorts that, like you had mentioned. I could pick up the Gen Zs and the frontline. If I look at the typical employee base at any given point of time, we have got at least 3 generations that are working in an organization at a point of time, and what works for one may not always suit or be looked at very favorably by the other. So if you look at the Gen Z, what my experience has been is that for them, personalization really matters. If you're able to give them something that is that brings in a lot of value or preferences for them, that would be something that they would look out for. I also notice again something that I heard Harish you mentioning about sustainability. I think the Gen Z are looking for gifting which is connected to a larger purpose. If I'm able to connect it to sustainability, if I'm able to go ahead and talk about something which is for a larger purpose, then there is a slightly better connect that I've noticed. And I've also noticed that there's a lot of focus on experience. It isn't the physical product that they're looking for, but it's more of the experience. So the packaging or the way in which it is provided is also important, but the experience is something that they're looking forward to. On the other hand, if I look at our frontline employees, we have a lot of frontline employees who are working at airports, at seaports, in warehouses, etc. For them, gifting has to be, or what we have seen them being more favorable towards from a gifting standpoint, are things which are very practical, which have a lot of utilitarian value. We've also noticed that for them, their team is very important. So if I can give them some kind of a recognition program or a reward which is for the team together, then they somehow seem to value it a bit more than considering it only as an individual. So reward and recognition programs, if we can run it using a gifting platform, allow them to go ahead and accumulate points. I've noticed, or I've seen so many very powerful instances where they're willing to even share their leave with each other. I've seen somebody who's got leave, but I'm willing to donate my leave, right? So similarly, when there are these point systems that you have, we have noticed instances where they work together and sort of accumulate points and then see how we can celebrate using maybe a common festival or so on and so forth. So for me, any kind of preferential or nuanced approach that we can do, or if we can look at preferences or specific value, if they can see value in the gift, then it will work. But I think we need to reach a stage where one size does not fit all. We will need to go ahead and differentiate and work even more and more, and that will help.
Okay. Thanks, Sunil. Vikash, I come back to you again back to a part of the corporate, I would say, process of gifting a little bit. One of the things that our study shows is that gifting still remains quite last minute. So even though we say, okay, it's strategic, etc., but practically it becomes very last minute. Decisions are taken at short notice, etc. So maybe if you can give your perspective on this, why is this really the case? And how do we address it? For example, is digital gifting a way to address this need for speed, or maybe your perspective on it, Vikash, this whole point of finalizing and how do we plan gifting better?
Great question, Anish. Thanks. Basically, it's a trend that we observe not only across industries, but within our organization also, that gifts are finalized at last minute. So your question is a bit big. So let me just break down your question. So why is corporate gifting often a last minute decision? So basically, gifting is often seen as a soft task, not a core operational or strategic priority. We have all our strategic priority like meeting the sales target, deadlines, cost control, like that. So basically, it's not a priority. So that's why we keep it for the last moment. Secondly, like our organization budget, we deal with multiple geographies, stakeholders, and there are layers of approval and committees are there who will finalize the gifting. So selecting the right items, finalizing budget, aligning with regional offices, often make it a last moment or last minute stabling. It delays the entire process. And also there's so many of choices for gifting, and if everyone sits at some place, it's become difficult to finalize something that fits for all. So as a result, the decision often get delayed. And your second part has digital or on-demand gifting help. Yes, we have starting to see the benefits for the same. At Berger, we began experimenting with digital and on-demand gifting, especially for internal stakeholders and as well as for our dealers partner. So, which includes gift vouchers sent digitally to employees and the dealers, some customized merchandise which we ordered online platform, and we have created certain centralized portal where regional team can select and dispatch the gift based on their local requirement. So the advantage for this is the speed and the flexibility, and the as likely every panelist has mentioned, the personalization at scale. We can by giving a gift card, dealers or the employees are they can buy anything which they want. So also, if I will not buy the merchandise by my own, it will reduce my wastage and the surplus inventory. So it's better to be at gift cards nowadays. But if you will say it's totally digital, and so then I will be disagreeing with it. While digital gifting is growing, it's not the end of the solution. In certain cases, especially with long-term dealers or the premium clients, still a physical gift carries more emotional weightage. So uh, we are moving towards a hybrid gifting approach. At certain places, it is digital, and certain places where a personal touch is needed, we are there like that only. So yes, most gifting still happens at last minute because it's often lack priority, and making digital and on-demand solution is making gifting more agile and data-driven. And also, we must treat gifting not as afterthought, but as a planned strategic touch point in our stakeholder relationship. With the right blend of planning and technology, we can turn gifting from a last-minute scrabble into a thoughtful expression of who we are as a brand. So yes, this is my perspective. Thanks.
No, great insights, Vikas. Thank you. And then coming to you, Sachin, on the one hand, we see a lot of innovation in gifting, that there are platforms which have a lot of features. You have, of course, digital gifting in its many forms that we are talking about. But in India, we also see this other, we don't just see it in gifting, we see it in many parts of the corporate world and the business environment. There is increasing regulation. So the tax laws have been changing, we have the 94Cs, etc. We have compliance requirements on many specific industries which are getting tougher and tougher. So how do you see these two forces the gifting experience in India or in corporate India as we go ahead?
Yeah, Anish, I would like to tell you about the personal experience. Actually, in farm industry, we faced this problem very recently when UCPMP guidelines have come. And so the government has decided how you can do the gifting to your customers. So adopting that is an important aspect. And the companies who have not adopted it as fast as possible, they started struggling because the guidelines have been stringent very, very, very fast. So what we have done, understanding that and made gifting as a process as per the guidelines. And it was a lot of resistance, undoubtedly, from a lot of people internally because we were changing for last 10, 15 years trend. But we have done it. And let me tell you, in a lot of, as per our learning, in a lot of industries, these stringent guidelines is going to come. That's what we have come. So people have, companies have to understand how they can do it in terms in putting into the bracket of compliance, so they can have a smooth operations. Otherwise, in our industry, we have seen it was a disaster for a few months to see that the compliance nobody was able to understand. So putting awareness across to the customer, to the internal employees, has created a big difference, and now we are doing it very, very smoothly. And digital gifting undoubtedly has played a very important role, as I mentioned earlier also as well.
No, thanks for that. Yes, very important and relevant for us. And I think you made a great point. I think it's not just in India, but probably a trend in other countries as well, which I'm sure maybe Victoria, Sebastian, you may be resonating with the changing nature of regulation. Maybe I'll take a couple of, there are some questions that are coming in from the participants. Maybe I can just take a couple of those and direct it to the panel before we move ahead. And there is a specific question where, and it's a practical one, guys. It's a question on procurement. The question really is, how do you see procurement evolving from gatekeeper to enabler in corporate gifting? And I think the point is sometimes gifting is seen as something that, okay, whoever's giving the biggest discount, you kind of take them, but that may not necessarily give the best experience for the intended stakeholder, be it an employee or a customer or a partner. So anyone in the panel wants to take this question? Hey.
I think
Go ahead.
Yeah, so for us, we've got a procurement team that supports us as long as our remit or explanation is good. We have procurement teams who are able to go ahead and provide us support. The one big challenge that we normally face is if our description of what we are trying to, or the objective or purpose of the gifting or the requirement of any service provider is meant or explained properly, then it allows us to go ahead and procure right. Finally, you also have to look at it like a combination of what could be the right commercial decision to what is the final purpose for what you're going ahead and using that particular item for. So I think that combination helps, but we've had reasonably good support as far as that is concerned.
Okay, thanks, Sunil. Any other perspectives? Maybe Vikash or Sachin, anything else on this topic? Okay, clear.
Or if I may,
Yeah,
Anish, sorry,
yes, please,
speaking.
of course.
You know,
yes,
we were discussing about ROI, return on investment. And I believe it's critical for the organization to be able to demonstrate the ROI of the gifting practices, and procurement can help. You know, procurement can come with a process, come with a KPI and targets. So I believe that they can be allies, okay, in the way of sustaining this gifting project, because they will help organization to demonstrate the ROI. And for that, I fully resonate with what you guys are sharing in terms of business impact, in terms of creating, relationship and loyalty. At the end of the day, it turns into business outcome and business revenues. Okay, so I believe procurement can be also a way to demonstrate this ROI and sustain these gifting practices internally.
No, absolutely. Thanks for sharing that, Sebastian. I think we've touched upon this theme of ROI a couple of times, but yes, absolutely. I think the super important aspect. Yes. Maybe one more question. I don't think we have much more time left. This is a question, again, it comes back to the fundamental dichotomies in corporate gifting and these opposing forces. So on the one hand, we have the need for scale and speed and decentralization, the shift to digital, hybrid, etc. So the specific question is with, this, how can you keep gifting continue to be emotionally rich and address corporate values and pushing the corporate values while still, continuing the scale and speed that we need to push this at. So on the one hand, you have the need for scale and speed, but on the other hand, you want to make sure it has the right impact, it speaks to the right emotions, it covers the corporate values. So how do we balance this? Maybe any of the panelists or Victoria, Sebastian, anyone would like to take this question?
I surely would like
Go
to
ahead.
answer this.
Yes, go ahead, please. Go ahead, Victor.
Yeah. So when we talk about decentralization, but then never means like anybody can take a call on the gifting, because it puts your perception of the company into the customer's mind. So, like in our case, we have a one team who actually decides when the different teams comes with the ideas of gifting. So one central team can ensure that it is going as per the value culture of the company, and it is not out of the guidelines. It is in form of building perception of even our products or a company or the kind of services we give. So I think the decision making on gifting has to be on one team which can go along with the culture of the company. That's my take on this answer.
Absolutely. Thanks, Vikash. Very insightful. I think we are almost out of time. So maybe I will just close with what I would call a rapid fire. So very quickly, just a short question, and I would just request a very short answer. So maybe I go to you first, since you have the mic virtually, Vikash. Personalized, premium, or practical? What is the best kind of gift, you think? Personalized, premium, or practical?
Best gift which I feel is the personalized gift. This will create a more impactful thing on the person. So it should be personalized rather than premium, something like that.
Okay, perfect. Then digital, physical, or hybrid? Anybody wants to go for that? I think I know the answer, but hybrid. Okay, done. Yes, I think we all agree that that's probably captures all the aspects. And then maybe Sunil, coming to you finally, since the future of gifting or corporate gifting in a couple of words.
I think it's critical for us to go ahead and ensure that, like we've been speaking about, personalization and experience is key. How do we go about ensuring that we are able to go ahead and provide the right connect, and how do I enhance our relationships? I think a gift always brings a smile to somebody's face. How do I ensure that I continue to keep that smile on our partners' faces, on our clients or customers, and of course our teams? I think that's important, and it will remain relevant. We just need to go ahead and build on it appropriately and work ahead.
Thank you, Sunil. I think on that great note, I will let me conclude this panel. Thank you, all of you, for, I think, great insights, a lot of personal examples, experience sharing, and trying to cover all the different aspects of the topic. I think for all the people who have been able to join the webinar, I think hopefully this has been quite insightful. Before I hand it over to you, Nupur, any final remarks, maybe from either Sebastian, you, or Victoria, if anything? Any closing comment, if any?
But I just thanks a lot for being with you. I thought that the panel discussion and this study was full of learnings, and I really love this concept of keeping the smile on everybody's face. I love that. It's super insightful. And I think another concept which came out on top of all the study findings is somehow this alignment, organizational alignment around values and what's the role for gifting. So, how you go about giving out gift and finding alignment with values and engagement. I think there were some really interesting ideas here. So thanks a lot for sharing.
Thank you, Victoria. Anything, Sebastian?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Anish. It was very rich, and I look forward to reading it more in the study. And if I may, I believe that it was a good demonstration that gift is part of multi-benefit. Gift is part of our employee benefit strategy. When you are a manager, gift is part of your tools, is part of your levers, and you have many other in the employee benefit. And so I believe that the more comprehensive, the more close we are to our employees and external partners, the better it is in this emotional bond that makes our business stronger and better. So happy to have shared with you those insights, and look forward to our future common businesses.
Thank you very much, Sebastian. Okay, over to you, Nupur. I think we are just about on time to close.
Yes. So thank you, Anish, and thank you to the speakers for the rich and practical exchange of ideas. It's always, very valuable to hear from the leaders who are actually shaping the strategy on ground. And one thing that stuck with me was when Vikash said that, gifts should make the person feel that we see you and we value you, and how Sunil and Sachin added to that by saying gifts should bring a smile on people's face. So thank you all. And as we wrap up, I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all the attendees. So the insights shared today reinforce one thing, that corporate gifting is no longer a gesture, but it's a strategic business tool, one that connects people, builds brands, and drives business impact. On behalf of the entire Pluxee team, thank you for being part of this special launch. We look forward to partnering with you to make gifting smarter, simpler, and more strategic for you. Have a great day ahead, and thank you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Everyone.